cannot get what she wants from Mr. Kapasi, she walks away from him, but she leaves a trail. The rice falls to her fingers, leaving a zigzagging trail, causing a monkey to leap down from a tree and devour the little white grains. Despite Mr. Kapasi's realization about who Mrs. Doss really is, the connection between them has not been severed, symbolized by the trail of rice. As she walks up to meet her family, the puff rice falls through her fingers. The trail symbolizes how lost she is and how she's made so many wrong choices. She's losing control over her secret and over her life. Her guilt alters everything, perpetuating her isolation and confusion. Mr. Kapasi is forced to step in and stop the monkeys when they start attacking Bobby. He rescues him and brings him back to the family, restoring some of his powers with his selfless actions. Finally, when she whips up the hairbrush to brush Bobby's hair and soothe him, the slip of paper with Mr. Kapasi's address flutters away in the wind. No one but Mr. Kapasi notices. Mrs. Doss losing Mr. Kapasi's address frees them from the expectations of Mrs. Doss. By losing their connection in this manner, the lack of influence they have on each other becomes obvious, and then the strength of their connection quickly evaporates. Their interactions with each other have made no difference in their lives. Mr. Kapasi cannot rid himself of his disappointment, and Mrs. Doss cannot escape her guilt. Through their connection, Lahiri outlines the stages of attraction and disappointment of Mr. Kapasi and Mrs. Doss by alternately using imagery and syntax and setting them against each other. By injecting symbolism as well, Lahiri connects to a larger picture, one that speaks to the greater disparities in human relationships. Lahiri is making a statement about what can happen in human relationships. She makes sure to point out that this is a unique one, but she also shows how they were so deeply connected, and then in the end they had no effect whatsoever on Mrs. Doss is still holding on to an enormous amount of guilt, and Mr. Kapasi is still just as disappointed as ever. Even though they tried and looked into each other to see if they could better their situations, they were not able.